Hey, good morning, folks. AJ, the CEO here, and I am packed, and we are getting ready to head to Birmingham, Alabama, to go help out an install that kind of didn't go as expected by the ministry. I think I could be wrong if I booked the story wrong. I think they had hired someone, and then they kind of left the church holding the bag. So. Um, the guy that contacted me, I actually did helped out his mom's church down in Atlanta. So she forwarded my contact information to him, and this is where we're at right now. So I got everything. I'm gonna eat some breakfast here, and then we're gonna get on the road because there's no flight from Richmond. So I gotta go back. I gotta go down to. I was getting ready to go back to my old stomping grounds down to Hampton, but we're flying out of Norfolk to go to Birmingham, Alabama. Direct flight, but coming back is gonna be different. But anyway, let's get on the road and let's see what we can do down in Birmingham, Alabama. Hey, good morning, folks. AJ here. First day, I guess we're gonna start doing some work. I posted some videos of the church. Let me just give you a breakdown of what's going on. I've had to do this quite a few times, sadly. Um, Pretty much, I am coming in to try and fix a install that wasn't completed by a vendor. Um, and they're dealing with that, which I'm not involved with. But sadly, this isn't the first time I've had to do stuff like this, where some companies have kind of messed with a church and um, recruiting their services. But the first thing is they have one Famaco camera that's mounted in the back that is connected over only Ethernet. So they're sending everything power control everything through the camera over Ethernet, as well as that's how the video is coming directly into their computer through OBS. And they had an issue where their network went out. And obviously, if the network goes out and you're driving everything over the network, the camera stops working. So we ordered a fiber optic HDMI cable that should be here tomorrow. We're going to connect that directly um, to the camera and run that into the media booth. We also are getting them an ATEM Mini Extreme so that will connect directly to the ATEM as well as the their computer is going to be connected because in this setup they had some matrix an HDMI matrix where they have to press buttons to determine what goes to which TV and all this other stuff like that. But since the camera was set up that way over network, there's no way to bridge that directly into a feed to go to the TVs. It looks like the original installer was trying to run a dual Cat 5e HDMI to dual Cat 5e extenders, which is it looks like that's what they have to every single TV. I really hope I don't need to replace that because we don't have the time or the parts to actually do that right now. So what we're doing, like I said, we're going to run a fiber optic HDMI cable from the camera directly to the A10 Mini Extreme. The A10 Mini Extreme is also going to take in the computer, and then the out from the A10 Mini Extreme, the program out is going to go into a 1x8 ORI splitter that will completely do away with the matrix that they're using, and it will make an easier transition when you're transitioning between the computers, so it's not that static jump that a matrix would normally do. They also have an X32, so we got a dual XLR to 3.5 millimeter cable. So we're going to be pulling the audio from the board directly into the ATEM. And it reminds me, we don't have a USB-C cable. Uh, Probably just going to have to get one from like the store or something like that. I don't think I brought an extra one with me, but yeah, I don't think I brought one with me. That's the first thing to fix up there. They also want me to finish installing their security cameras. Those are Ethernet ones, so I might have to buy a bulk um, box of Cat 6 cables. I brought my tools, but I didn't bring any RJ45 caps to terminate the wire, so I'm gonna have to do that. And the other main thing that they brought me for is I guess the installer ran a single, which might be problematic, a single Ethernet cable from the media booth to the front where they want to hang a digital wall, the exact same size that I've done before. And where is it? I'm actually trying to pull it up so I can show you the exact dimensions of what they were getting. It's a 9.8 by 6 by 6, which I've installed numerous times before. So they didn't hang the digital wall at all. So that's what we're going to be doing. Now, my one concern is they only ran one cable. And typically, when I've done this, I've used two cables in this. So let me flip this around and show you. So this is the one that they got, and it has three containers with 8 panels each. So, you could do 3 rows of 8, but it's going to be 4 rows of 6. And that's how we're going to connect it. Now, typically, that one Ethernet cable connects to this, and you daisy chain all of these together. In my practice, when I've done with one Ethernet cable, this has not worked, and I've always had to run two. So we're going to try this with one. If it doesn't work, I am not prepared for any CSAA ministry. I have no idea how they ran this cable, but if they did not tack the cable down in some way in the ceiling, we could theoretically tie off two cables to that one that's already ran and use that as a pull string to pull that all the way back. I really don't want to do that because if it doesn't work, then now you have no cable in the ceiling at all. But that's what we're gonna attempt to do, and get that straight. And that's the bulk of what we're doing. So I need to call the pastor, and they really treat me real nice here. So they put me up here in a hotel here, and I'm near the school down here, UA, um, yeah, or AU. I forget which one. I'm not a sports person, but there's a big sports town here in Tuscaloosa. Um, but and I'm down the street from their stadium here. But give him a call, then we're gonna go to Home Depot, get a bunch of supplies, get a bunch of. I don't have a circular saw with me, so most likely I am going to see if I can get one, two, three, one, two, three, four, 5, 10. I need to get 10, maybe 2x6s that are 4 feet, so that we don't go across the entire span of the screen. We just need to have the corners and the center so that we'll screw into those and support that. And again, the weight, and since the screen is locked to each other, that'll be there. But if we have the corners, the centers, and everything anchored into the wall and anchored into the screen, we should be fine. Also, remember, since the back wall is black, just like at Abundant Life, just like at Pastor Bell's church, we're gonna get some spray paint, some matte black paint, spray paint the boards black so that you won't be able to see them. In the angle of the way they have the screen in the wall, you won't be able to see it unless you walk all up on it. But we're gonna do that anyway. And I'm just making mental notes of everything I need to pick up because we got about 3 days to get all of this stuff. I want to focus all of my attention on just the doing the screen, and then we'll approach everything else after that. We'll go from there. So let me get packed up, uh, find some breakfast somewhere, and then head over to the church and let's get some work done. All right, folks. So we're going to start our work. We just came back from the store getting a bunch of plywood that we're going to paint to be black. That's going to anchor the studs first. We're going to anchor those woods into the stud. And I didn't want to get like 6 foot or 10 foot, preferably, beams because I don't have a circular saw. I didn't know if I had that available. So we just got about 15 um, 1x4s that are about 3 feet, and we're just going to put them on each end and then in the middle, and that should be enough to anchor everything in. Because again, remember these things lock to themselves. So as long as it's anchored into the stud and anchored into that, the corners, the center, and all of the joints, we should be good. They got me an extension ladder because of how this sticks out. This regular A-frame is not going to get me close enough to the wall. So what we're going to do is mainly focus on that today. And we got some extra cables so that we can, if we need to, pull another Ethernet to power everything. So it looks like this is going through the wall. This is going to be the Ethernet that sends the signal. I can't pull it from there, but that's what sends the signal to the screen from back there. Now, actually, Kevin told me that we ordered all that stuff from Amazon, and it wasn't supposed to be here till Sunday, but he changed the shipping to a different address, and it's actually going to be here tomorrow. So once we get this set up, we'll be able to hook up the ATEM and all this other stuff. But the main thing is to get this screen anchored, measured, centered, and up. And then we'll concentrate on where these security cameras are going to go, wherever they need to be. They didn't tell me, so I'm going to focus on that right now. All right, so like I showed in the video, when I was in the hotel room, we're going to do 6 across and 4 rows up. So I need to measure this to find out where the exact center is. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Obviously, that's going to be in between, and we're going to just do a chalk line so we know exactly where we're basing everything off. And then I don't have my laser level, so we'll just measure everything, have a chalk line, and then that will be our base, and then we just go from there. All right, folks, I got the first 2 boards up, and I was getting ready to I got it centered. I got a chalk line for at least this side. Then I'm going to go over from there. But then I just realized I grabbed one of the panels, and I don't see where the cables are, the Ethernet cables that connect these together, or the power cables at all. So I'm going to have to give Kevin a call. I looked everywhere. I don't want to be hunting through the church. They left me here. To do my work, but normally there's a box that includes all of the cables. So I'm wondering if the original installer did not leave that with them. But we gotta find that, because if we don't have that, I mean, I can put the screen up, but we're not gonna be able to run the connections between the screens or even send it power. So Let me give them a call and see where we go from there. The joys of dealing with, I guess, with bad vendors. So they never provided the church with that extra box. And that vendor is not answering phone calls at all. So I had them go ahead and they're going to give LED Nation a call to see if they can order these extra the cables and stuff like that to bridge everything together. So we have to wait from there. But for right now, I'm at least going to put the distribution back here and have that connected and, do what we can do from there. All right. So in the meantime, we have this mounted that. We connected the cables that we have. So we're going to do out and then into the card. The cable that's going to the front, I did terminate and plug in right there. I get the power cable to plug in to this UPS. And on this side, I made a live stream mix for them right here. And that's going to come out of 9 and 10 by default. So the dual XLR that we get is going to come out from right there. We'll dial all that stuff in. And I can find where the power button is on here. Maybe I can log into the computer and at least get the software, the ATEM software installed. And even with this, I'm probably going to at least go straight up and put 4 rows up as best as possible. And maybe just do the side and then leave the panels off so that they can easily be done. I kind of want to do that, but then I don't because I don't want to do too much. And is the computer off? I think it is. Because again, I know it kind of stinks. They had me come down here, but then not of my doing or their doing. The other vendor just didn't leave everything, and you don't know what you don't know. All right, folks, it is almost 9:30. 9:30. It's almost 2:30. We've been rolling since 9:30. And outside of the issues with not being able to find, I guess, the previous installer didn't leave the power cables for the LED wall, not able to get that connected. But we do have the entire framing and everything done. So pretty much the only thing once we get the cables is to connect everything up, daisy chain them all together with power and data. The black cable, let me spin you around here. The black cable, I did terminate. They had a whole bunch of extra, but don't need that much. I do have plenty of slack left, but we're gonna maybe pop a hole somewhere right there, and we're gonna start on this side. So when we daisy chain it, we're gonna go here, up, and that way. I do have some smaller pieces. As much as I try to avoid, we will need to cut these, and that's mainly here. These 2 pieces right there, one at the top, and then one right there in the middle. So we got 4 and maybe a little small sliver. Once I cut this, the small piece will be enough for that corner. But just want to anchor that in. Everywhere else is there. So just mainly the corners. That centerpiece right there doesn't have one, but it's all locked into everything, and all the pieces around it are there. So it's literally just that centerpiece. But so we're good with that. I don't have a hole saw to drill this through, and maybe I should have drilled it through and then terminated. But like I said, we're going to connect right there, and then They just daisy chain all the way up and over. And we got to figure out where power is going to be. Most likely power is going to come from this side as well too. So we will make the hole big enough so that we can run the power cables here. So 1, 2, probably run another one right there. So this whole top section will have power. This bottom section will have power. And I'm really hoping that one Ethernet cable will be fine, because I have no idea how they ran this. And that's way close to that power. But I'm assuming they maybe ran it up this way. And I have no idea how in the world they got into the attic. I'm not in a place to even do that. That is my concern. Now, worst case, I was talking to Kevin, depending on how everything else is going to be in here, hopefully I don't have to come back, but they are mentally preparing if we have to come back. But at this point, there's really nothing else I can do. They want to do those security cameras, but again, I wasn't told where they want to go. So that's why I'm not going to just start busting holes and all this other stuff. And it looks like this power cable to the speaker came down. So I'm going to get some zip ties and at least pull that back up there behind there. And then I was playing on the piano for a little bit. Actually, this is the bigger version, the 88 key version of the same keyboard I have at home. But I might be able to just break some of these boards, because I forgot I have 2 outside that I spray painted black. But the way I got it, you're not going to see any of it. So I might not need to paint it at all. So see, I have those 2 right there. So I don't know. So like I said, we've been running. I've had a bunch of other calls from other churches. So once I get back to a hotel room, I need to do 2 Zoom consultations to help out a couple of folks. Again, we've made some very, very good progress today. I don't have the PIN to log into the computer, so I can't download the ATEM software. We're going to have to go up again here and widen that hole so that I can run the fiber optic HDMI cable from that Famaco camera up in the ceiling and down to where the ATEM is going to be. So, yeah, that's what we're going to be focusing on tomorrow, and then programming the LED screen. Technically, well, I was going to say technically I can program it now, but I really can't, because I need to have the screens configured. I can put in the numbers and from a best guesstimate try and set it up. I might do that just to eat up some time. And like I said, I'm going to get up and out of here once my ride gets here, get some food, and then crash after I have my meetings.